Any episodes?
No.
That's terrific. Now what? Things have changed, the market's tough. I'm sure you can understand why our beloved parent company, Warner Brothers, has decided to make a sequel to the trilogy.
What?
They informed me they're gonna do it with or without us.
I thought they couldn't do that.
Oh, they can. And they made it clear they'll kill our contract if we don't cooperate.
Really?
Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Salute to you for tuning in. You are always appreciated. In this video, we are going to discuss film producer Village Roadshow filing for bankruptcy and what that could mean for the future of the Matrix franchise. As always, I brought receipts and went deeper down the legal rabbit hole than anyone else is willing to discuss about this topic. So, like the video and subscribe to the channel and you won't miss out on any future updates. Now let's get straight into the Matrix. The Deadline article says, quote, strapped indie producer Village Roadshow files for bankruptcy. Village Roadshow Entertainment Group, the troubled indie producer and financier of the Matrix and Joker franchises and more, filed for Chapter 11 in a Delaware court Monday, citing ongoing arbitration with longtime partner Warner Bros., as well as an overly ambitious studio expansion. The company said it slashed costs to save and also tried to sell itself as a whole last year, but uncertainty surrounding the pending arbitration, ongoing for 3 years now, made that impossible, forcing it to file for bankruptcy. It said it has a so-called stalking horse bid of $365 million for its library and a DIP, debtor-in-possession facility to fund operations while under court supervision. A stalking horse bid sets a minimum price for an asset. So let's pause right here for just a second, because last year, when they originally announced Matrix 5, I was under the impression that the arbitration was resolved, since they also announced Lana Wachowski was on board as an executive producer. When I first found out about the lawsuit, we talked about the details that were made public in a Twitter space 3 years ago, and I gave my initial reactions, explained the difference between the civil lawsuit and the arbitration process, and even started that conversation by saying I didn't want to make a full video about this topic until we had a final ruling. Clearly we can see now that not only was the issue not resolved in arbitration a year ago, but they are still beefing over the very same argument 3 years later. And this would also explain why we got a Matrix 5 announcement followed by a year's worth of cricket noises. We'll come back to potentially starting production on the Matrix 5 later in this video. The article goes on to say, quote, the library assets generate revenue of approximately $50 million per year, it said. Steve Mosco, who served as CEO of Village Roadshow since 2018, stepped down in January. In late 2024, it came to light that Village Roadshow had been late on payments to writers working on their film and TV projects, and the WGA West issued a stop work order. The filing today noted that significant liability has attached due to unpaid contracts, such as those with writers and consultants. Kind of makes you wonder if this is one of the real reasons why we still haven't heard anything about a finished Matrix 5 script yet. The WB arbitration alone has generated more than $18 million in legal fees, nearly all of which remain unpaid, and presents the threat of a potential arbitration award that could flatten the company's balance sheet, but that is not the full extent of its impact. West Hollywood-based Village Roadshow, which has been owned by Falcon Strategic Partners and Vine Media Opportunities since 2017, has more than $163 million in senior secured debt. The company, in its filing today by Keith Mabe of Accordion Partners, who was named Chief Restructuring Officer in January, described its once prolific co-production, co-financing, and co-ownership relationship with WB, which included the production, ownership, and derivative rights flowing from 89 titles, including the Matrix franchise, and comprised the vast majority of the debtor's business. On February 7, 2022, the company filed a complaint with respect to WB's release of The Matrix Resurrections Day and Date on HBO Max, and WB's dispute regarding the company's right to co-finance derivative works based on the film library assets co-owned with WB, predominantly with regard to the derivative rights agreements. The company accused WB of shutting it out of its legal and contractual rights to co-own and co-finance the sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and other derivative works of the 89 films that the company funded and co-owns, and with respect to which derivative rights are applicable.
They informed me they're gonna do it with or without us.
I thought they couldn't do that.
Oh, they can.
Prior to the WB arbitration, Village Roadshow said it enjoyed a lucrative and well-known co-production and co-financing relationship with Warner Brothers Entertainment Inc. and its affiliates, WB, that culminated in numerous and continual successful endeavors. The company's most valuable assets are a direct result of this success: the film library and the derivative rights. Two primary issues led to the decline in the company's financial position. 1. The WB arbitration, which has thwarted the company's most profitable business line, and 2. The failed and costly endeavor into the creation and production of independent films and scripted and unscripted television series, the studio business, which was never profitable.
Yeah. Sure.
Long story short, they weren't making enough money to pay for the expansion or legal battle and ran out of cash. We talked about the case previously in the Warner vs. Village Roadshow livestream, and now that Village Roadshow has filed for Chapter 11, it is safe to say that they lost this dispute. Wonka was released in 2023, crediting both studios, and the Edge of Tomorrow series never started production. So let's dive into the Village Roadshow complaint to the California Superior Court in Los Angeles County. The document says, quote, "This case is about the deliberate and consistent coordinated efforts of WB to eviscerate the significant value of Village Roadshow's intellectual property in order to prop up the new HBO Max streaming service owned by Warner Media, the ultimate parent of WB, without providing any accounting, and shut Village Roadshow out of its legal and contractual rights to co-own and co-finance the sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and other derivative works of the nearly 100 films that Village Roadshow funded and co-owned."
I'm sure you can understand why our beloved parent company, Warner Brothers, has decided to make a sequel to the trilogy. They informed me they're gonna do it with or without us.
I thought they couldn't do that.
Oh, they can. And they made it clear they'll kill our contract if we don't cooperate.
Warner Media devised Project Popcorn, the internal codename for its clandestine plan to materially reduce box office and correlated ancillary revenue generated from tentpole films that Village Roadshow and others would be entitled to receive in exchange for driving subscription revenue for the new HBO Max service, for which only Warner Media would be the sole beneficiary. Warner Media and WB effectively enticed movie-going audiences away from the theaters by streaming these tentpole films day and date on HBO Max for no additional charge, a practice that is completely inconsistent with industry standards and customary commercial practices in the motion picture industry. Additionally, Warner Media benefits by driving up the value of its subsidiary, just as Warner Media prepares to spin off and merge with Discovery, all while providing zero benefit to Village Roadshow talent and other partners. This surprise announcement shocked the entire motion picture community, sparking outrage from talent and partners with long-standing histories with WB. As part of WB's scheme, The Matrix Resurrections, what should have been an incredibly valuable sequel to the Matrix trilogy, WB rushed its release date from 2022 to 2021 precisely so that it could release the film on HBO Max on the same day and date as its theatrical release as part of Project Popcorn. Andy Forssell, head of HBO Max, acknowledged that new releases such as The Matrix Resurrections have helped the service acquire subscribers, reduce churn, and drive viewers to other content on HBO Max. These films have been very helpful in acquisition and more helpful in retention than we ever could have seen or hoped, Forssell said. WB's sole purpose in moving the release date of The Matrix Resurrections forward was to create a desperately needed wave of year-end HBO Max premium subscriptions from what it knew would be a blockbuster film, despite knowing full well that it would decimate the film's box office revenue and deprive Village Roadshow of any economic upside that WB and its affiliates would enjoy, especially as compared to a 2022 exclusive theatrical release. Literally, WB agreed to allow its sister company to stream Village Roadshow's tentpole film on the same day of its theatrical release, for no additional revenue so that its sister company could increase its subscribers and subscription revenues with the additional benefit of boosting its parent company's stock. No other studio did anything of the sort. Now, I think it's worth noting that they specifically mentioned this alleged sabotage operation by name, claiming that it was called Project Popcorn. Prior to our Resurrections title leak, the Matrix 4 production was referred to as Project Ice Cream. The other important takeaway here is that Village Roadshow claims that by streaming Matrix 4 on HBO Max the same day as release, without any compensation or even any way of tracking which subscribers signed up for Resurrections, WB essentially pirated their own film with the intention of freezing Village Roadshow out of that revenue stream. In defense of the complaint, WB said the following 1 week later, February 14th, 2022. The document says, quote, "The Matrix 4 dispute. Village refuses to pay its co-financing share. In August 2019, Village accepted the opportunity to co-finance Matrix 4. Village has since behaved like a co-financier of the picture and claimed all the associated benefits. Its logo appears within the first 30 seconds of Matrix 4, and it received both an end credit and individual producer credit on the film. Village, however, refuses to pay its 50% share of co-financing obligations, which run well over $100 million. Village claims that its non-payment should be excused because, according to Village, Warner breached the parties' November 10th, 2020, second amended and restated output distribution agreement by simultaneously releasing Matrix 4 in theaters and on the HBO Max streaming platform. But the parties' agreements nowhere require an exclusive theatrical release, nor do they preclude a simultaneous theatrical streaming release. All they require is for Warner to secure a wide release of Matrix 4 on at least 1,000 screens, an obligation that Warner well met in releasing Matrix 4 on over 5,000 screens. Had the parties intended the theatrical release to be exclusive, they would have said so. The parties used the term exclusive over a dozen times in the 2020 domestic distribution agreement to define other rights and obligations, but never once when referring to how the movie must be released. Let's play devil's advocate here. WB is basically saying that if there was a problem with the streaming release strategy, Village Roadshow should have insisted on a change to the contractual language before the film was released. But at no point did they request the film be released exclusively in theaters. Now let's get into the Yahoo Finance article that I believe provides a meaningful clue about when we can expect any Matrix 5 news moving forward. The article says, quote, U.S. film producer Village Roadshow Entertainment Group is open to all bids for a film library that includes rights to well-known movies like The Matrix, Ocean's 11, and The Joker, a company attorney said on Tuesday at a court hearing a day after filing for bankruptcy. Los Angeles-based Village Roadshow filed for Chapter 11 with a tentative agreement to sell its film library to investment firm Content Partners for $365 million. But the agreement is subject to overbids, and Village Roadshow hopes to hold an auction in May before seeking court approval of a sale. Village Roadshow entered bankruptcy with $393 million in secured debt. The company's film library, which generates $50 million in annual revenue, is its most valuable asset in bankruptcy. It includes the rights to 108 films, including The Joker, The Matrix Trilogy, Ocean series, The Lego Movie, and The Great Gatsby. An attorney for Alcon Entertainment said Tuesday that his client was a potential bidder for the film library. Bernbrock said that Warner Bros. Could also bid for Village Roadshow's film rights.
What?
They informed me they're gonna do it with or without us.
I thought they couldn't do that.
Oh, they can.
Most of Village Roadshow's films were co-produced with Warner, and the breakdown of that partnership was one of the factors that pushed the company to seek bankruptcy protection, according to court filings. Village Roadshow sued Warner in 2022 over the studio's move to release The Matrix Resurrections simultaneously in theaters and on HBO Max, alleging that Warner breached a co-production agreement to attract more subscribers to its streaming platform. The litigation has soured the company's working relationship, caused Village Roadshow to rack up $18 million in unpaid legal bills, and risks an adverse ruling that could flatten Village Roadshow's balance sheet, according to court filings. Warner's attorney Stephen Warren said Tuesday an arbitrator had already sided with Warner in the dispute over The Matrix Resurrections release. Village Roadshow faced other challenges besides its dispute with Warner, including a challenging market for movie theaters after the pandemic and an unprofitable effort to produce its own films and television shows after a private equity buyout in 2017. Village Roadshow's studio business has significant unpaid debts to writers, which damaged its reputation and caused the Writers Guild to blacklist the company in December 2024. So if you or anybody listening out there has $365 million to spare, you can purchase the Village Roadshow portion of the rights to the Matrix films during the auction in May. Now, it did say that they, quote, hope to hold an auction, so I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a last-minute settlement. But either way, don't expect any Matrix 5 production to begin before then. And now that you're finally caught up on all the important financial details, I'll explain why that auction date really matters. The Matrix Revolutions was the third live-action film in the series, and it was released in October of 2003. The following September of 2004, a woman named Sophia Stewart filed a claim that the Matrix franchise infringed upon her work. When I first started this channel, I read through all the court documents of that case and already made a very detailed video titled Matrix vs. Sophia Stewart, Case Cracked and Timeline Finally Explained. I don't want to spend too much time in this video talking about that case, so I'll leave a link in the description. The most important reason why her case is relevant in this conversation is because, as I mentioned, Revolutions was released in 2003. In 2004, Sophia Stewart files her complaint, and then we don't get another Matrix movie until after she lost. On August 20th, 2019, her case was finally and completely dismissed in the favor of WB, and literally that same day, they officially announced The Matrix 4. So you see, the real reason why it took 15 years to get a fourth Matrix film was because the IP was tied up in litigation since 2004. WB will either buy their portion of the rights back, settle with Village Roadshow, or wait for someone else to buy it during the auction in May and proceed to make a deal with the new owner. Do not expect any production to begin on The Matrix 5 prior to May 2025 unless WB and Village Roadshow miraculously come to some sort of settlement agreement first. However, if we are to believe Village Roadshow's claim that Project Popcorn was a deliberate strategy to kill their contract, I would imagine that no settlement deal is coming down the pipe. So I'll just say this: if the purpose of Project Popcorn was to devalue The Matrix as a franchise, mission accomplished. The flopped box office numbers as a result of the streaming release, the legal dispute, and failed NFT project have all contributed in successfully splitting the fan base and destroying trust in the brand. The good news is, it looks like we might finally be in a position to start getting concrete updates once the Village Roadshow portions of the rights are up for grabs in May of 2025. And so the Matrix continues. Don't forget to watch, like, and share Matrix University's exclusive animated short, The Potentials, featuring the Andrew Lewis Caldwell Acting Studio in Buffalo, New York. Be sure to join us over at the Free Matrix University Discord, where we discuss any and all updates as they come in real time. And remember, as one realizes that one is a dream figure in another person's dream, that is self-awareness.